Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam rukuah, salam sejahtera, and salam negeri Perlis, Raja Berdaulat, rakyat berilmu, negeri sejahtera, Perlis maju. Satu haluan, sehaluan. #09educators. Welcome to Perlis English Capsule Program 2021. To all dearest English teachers and English head panels in Perlis, and not to forget to all other English teachers who are here today. Ladies and gentlemen, for this morning session, I, Mr. AZLIN bin ARON from SMK TENGKU SULEIMAN, Bursary Police, and my friends,
I'm Mr. SYAKIRIN bin AZIZ for SMK HASSAN.
We try our best to share with you the little knowledge that we have about the new format for SPM English 2021 papers, focusing especially on paper 3, that is the SPM speaking papers, encoded 1119/3. And we truly hope that with this little bit of sharing on this SPM English speaking paper 2021 would enlighten many of us about its aim, contents, and how it is carried out. Teachers and ladies and gentlemen, this session is going to be divided into 4 parts that are: first, the general overview of the speaking paper in relation to the CEFR readiness. Second, the task formats and outputs, the questions, and we'll be looking into greater depths of the paper itself and some sample questions. Third, the examiners or the personnel involved and the layout of the exam center. And last but not least, what we expect the marks or graded be like for candidates. Well, without wasting any more time, let's start, and I will hand this session to my friend Mr. SYAKIRIN to share with you first the general overview of the English speaking paper, and second, the task formats and outputs with some samples question. So over to you, Mr. SYAKIRIN.
Okay, thank you, Mr. AZLIN. Okay, firstly, we will look at the general overviews of CEFR speaking. Okay, firstly, let me introduce you what is CEFR, how it is different from our last year SPM, our last year format. Okay, before this we are using our own framework. The range of performance can be very excellent, from very excellent to very poor. So from now on we are going to use CEFR. CEFR is an acronym for Common European Framework of Reference. It is being used around the world as an international language standard. Okay, as for in Malaysia, where English is used as a secondary language, naturally it will be lower than where English is used as native language. Okay, so at this time the students will be set. We have been preparing students to achieve a certain standard. The speaking test will be testing the student whether they have achieved the standard or not. Okay, so the question will be asked within the standard only, and the answers will also be expected within the standard. As for SPM 2021, the standard is being set at B2, so we are going to look at that later. Okay, and next, okay, general overview. This one part of the overall SPM 2021 English papers. Okay, the other different, there will be 4 parts of SPM paper this year. Before this, we are only testing on reading and writing, and for this year we are going to test on speaking and listening also. It is 25% of the overall SPM marks. Okay, the 4 parts, the 4 skills will be weightage the same For example, 25% for writing, 25% for reading, 25% for speaking, and 25% for listening. And CFR main focus is from B1 to B2. Okay, next. Yes, this one, there will be 4 papers for 1119 English SPM. There will be 1119/1, which is reading and use of English. There will be 1119/2 for writing, 1119/3 for speaking, and 1119/4 for listening. Okay, the expected date will be on February 2022. But we have to be very flexible. We have to look at the current situation of our country, whether it is okay to do the SPM or not. Okay, next. Okay, here are the standards. The standards in the in the CFR, curriculum target levels based on the CFR. These are the levels of proficiency. It range from A1 being the lowest until C2 being the highest. Okay, at A1 we target our preschool students. For primary school, we target them to achieve A2. For lower secondary, B1. For upper secondary, B2. For higher education, we target them to be very proficient in English, which is C1 or C2. Okay. Okay, for SPM, we will look at the upper secondary. For SPM student, we will target the student, they can achieve the level of proficiency of B2. So we will ask questions within the standard only. We are not going to ask more than the standard. For example, advanced question in the level of C1 and C2. We will determine whether they achieve the level or not. The main target for SPM this year, we are trying to see whether our students have achieved the level of B2 or not. Okay. Okay, B1 to B2 independent user. It is independent user. A is the basic user. So B1 and B2 are independent user, and C1 and C2 are the excellent user. The professional users. Okay, independent users, which means they can study by themselves. They can improve by themselves. Well, A1, the basic users, they will need guidance a lot. Independent, they can learn by themselves. Okay, criteria. So the criteria for B1 to B2 independent user, candidate can, number 1, understand main topic, understand main points to concrete abstract topic. Okay, understand, they must be able to understand the question, understand the main point. Which main point? For example, a question, what is your name? The main point is your name. Okay, so they have to be able to understand what is the question need. If they answer about someone else's question, they do not achieve the criteria. Okay, understand the point of concrete and abstract topics. Okay, concrete such as physical topic, such as your name, your preference, your cars, for example. And then abstract such as concept, ideas or concepts such as justice, such as love, honor, or kindness. Okay, so both concrete and abstract topics. Okay, secondly, deal with most situations with certain degree of fluency or spontaneity. Okay. With a certain degree of fluency, spontaneity, certain degree is between advanced and basic. So it is in the between level. Certain degree means not too basic and not too advanced. And then fluency here means the flow of talking, using the right words to convey the right message without too many halts while speaking. Okay. And then spontaneity, you do not take too much time between answering the question. Before you answer the question, you have to be spontaneous. So remember, it is in a certain level, in a certain degree, not too advanced and not too basic, not waiting to taking too much time, or you can just answer the question directly. Okay, in between level. Okay. Next, briefly describe and later can produce clear details on wide range of topics. Okay, briefly describe here means using a few words. Okay, describe something. For example, this is a torchlight, and then later produce clear details of wide range of topic. Clear detail, for example, this torchlight is used to provide light in a dark places. So it only needed briefly. So in not too many words, in very few words, he can achieve the B2 performance. Okay. Briefly reason to clearly explain viewpoints. Okay, briefly, also in a few words, he can give reason to clearly explain viewpoint. Okay, clearly means give a clear information about, or give details, okay, about something. For example, when they say that I like playing hockey. I like playing hockey because hockey is a sport team. So he can give a clear viewpoints. Clearly explain the viewpoint. He can clearly explain why he likes hockey. Okay. And then okay, next we are going to the next slide. These are the performance level. It is from 1 until 6. 1 is being the very lowest. Display minimal ability. 2, on track to achieve. 3, achieve expectation. 4, work towards exceeding. 5, on track to exceed expectation. And 6, exceed expectation. So in order to achieve, we have to be at level 3. Okay. Next. And we go on to general format and output questions. We will look at the format of the speaking exam and sample of the questions. Okay. General format and output. Paired format, 2 candidates at a time. Okay. In every session, there will be 2 candidates at a time. The candidates will be tested in pairs. Okay. And then there will be 2 examiners, interlocutor and assessor. Interlocutor is a teacher who will ask questions, and the assessor is the one who will assess the student, who will give mark. Interlocutor will probably be the teacher, the English teacher of the students, to make them feel at ease, to boost their confidence. And then the assessor, probably someone from the other schools, and he can give unbiased mark toward the student. Maybe if our own teacher give the mark, the school teacher give the mark, you will be biased, but the outside assessor will be unbiased. Okay. 3 parts: an interview task, an individual long-term task, and a discussion task. There will be 3 parts of the test. Okay. Firstly, there will be an interview. So they ask basic question about your preference, about your life, about student life. Okay. As a starter, they will ask question for both of the student. And then individual long-term task is you give opinions about a topic, and then a discussion task is a conversation between the 2 students. We will look to that later. Okay. Estimated time is 13 minutes. For speaking, there is no exact time, because sometimes when the students are very talkative, it can exceed the time, and sometimes when he doesn't talk too much, it's so quiet, it can be very short. Unlike the speaking, unlike the writing, there is an exact minutes, exact time. So you have to stop at the exact time. For speaking, we can be very lenient with the students. Okay. Okay. SPM 2021 speaking 1119/3 general format and output. Okay, we will look at the format. The first format, the first part is interview. Number of parts, there are 3 number of parts. Okay. Task type, first one is interview, second is individual long-term based on text verbal prompt, and the third one is discussion based on mind map stimulus, and then further discussion task. Okay. The construct, speaking and listening skill. You understand, okay, they will test on your skill, which is understand, for example, your basic knowledge of the language, your variety of vocabulary, grammar, and then how do you apply, how do you use your language to answer question, and then how you analyze, how you evaluate, and then the knowledge on language, and lastly on values. Time allowed is 13 minutes. Weighting is 25% of overall exam grade. So for the speaking test, there will be three tasks, and then the time is 30 minutes, and the weightage is 25%. Okay. Okay, let's look at the parts. Okay, part 1. Part 1 is interview. There will be 2 phases and 3 to 4 minutes. 2 phases for one student will take the first phases, and the second will take the second phases. Okay, interaction pattern. Interlocutor interviews candidate. Input, interlocutor frame provides all questions for an interlocutor. So interlocutor will look at his frame, his tag. Will be written by the lembaga. They will give what question to ask, and the interlocutor will only read from the text given. He cannot ask outside of the question. Okay. Also, there will be prompt question. The prompt question is also will be given by the lembaga. You cannot add your own question. Okay, discourse features. Candidate response to question. So the candidate will respond the question. In order to pass, the candidate must respond to the question. Function. I give factual info about oneself. Okay, the topic is about oneself. Talk about present circumstances. What happened today, for example, about COVID. Express opinion. What do you think about something? Explain and give reason. And then talk about future plan. Talk about past experience. So they talk about their life only. What is affected in their life. What is affected in their life. Okay. Next. Tips: student to offer personal information and to respond appropriately. Okay, tips is that student should not be shy to offer information about themselves, to tell everything about their life to the interlocutor. 2 phases: general introduction, B, specific theme. Example, daily routine. Okay, general introduction, maybe they will ask the name, what do you like, what kind of music do you like, what games do you play. Okay, and then they will ask specific theme. For example, this here is daily routine. Timing begins once the interlocutor greets the candidate. So when the interlocutor greets the candidate, the timing will be start. The timing is kept by the assessor and the interlocutor. All questions are from the interlocutor frame. So questions are from the lembaga. The lembaga will give you the question, and you cannot use other question from the frame, outside the frame. Candidate's name will be used throughout the session. Okay. For example, they will use the name of the candidate. For example, his name is Ali. Okay, Ali, what do you think about sport? For example, be very alert, crucial to boost one level of confidence. The student is advised to be very alert. So listen carefully to what the interlocutor is saying. When you are becoming very alert, you can boost your level of confidence. You will be very confident in answering the question.
To proceed, yes.
Approximately is 3 to 4 minutes. The time allocated will be 3 to 4 minutes.
Part 1.
Okay. So after that, they will change to this one is the type of question, the example of the question. For example, main question, candidate A, what's your name? Okay, thank you. So the student will answer, my name is. Okay, thank you. And then the interlocutor will ask the candidate B, and what's your name? And he will give the answer and say, the interlocutor say thank you. So the backup prompt, if the student cannot answer the question, you can use backup prompt. For example, should I call you? Okay, for this question. Okay, candidate A, where do you live? Come from? Candidate B, how do you come to school? Okay, thank you. Okay, the backup prompt is also provided. For example, do you live in, or do you come to school by? Okay, you can use backup prompt only if they cannot answer the question. If they can answer the question, you go to the next question. Okay. Phase 2, topic. As an example, daily routine. Okay, main question. For example, here is daily routine. Questions about daily routine. There will be 3 to 4 questions about a topic. For example, here is daily routine. What do you normally do after you wake up? And then they ask, what do you usually do after coming back from school? How do you spend our leisure time? What do you do on weekends? So notice that this 4 question is interrelated. It is related to the topic daily routine. It can be other topic. For example, favorite video game. What games do you play online? Why do you play that game online? Why do you like that game? Okay, for example, they give you backup prompt. If the students cannot answer the question, for example, the first question, what do you normally do after you wake up? And then the student keep quiet. You can ask a backup prompt, which is, what is the first thing you do every day? It is basically the same question as the first one. only it is being easier than the first question. It is being rephrased in a level basically lower than the first question. Okay, the backup question is the same thing as the first question, only it is being rephrased to make it easier. Okay, for example, the second question, what do you usually do after coming back from school? The backup prompt is, what do you do when you get home from school every day?
Yeah.
Okay, the first one, it use the word usually. Maybe the student do not understand the word usually. The backup prompt do not use the word usually. It is written in basic form of question. What do you do when you get home from school every day? Okay, next we look at part 2. Part 2 is individual long-term tasks. So 3 to 4 minutes. Interaction pattern and individual long-term tasks 1 to 2 minutes with a listening candidate response question 20 seconds. Input spoken rubrics. Written prompt given in candidate booklets. Okay, discourse features sustaining a long term, managing discourse, coherence and clarity of message, organization of ideas, accuracy and appropriacy of linguistic resources, function, talk about past, present, future, experience, explain and give reasons, express and justify opinions, describe people, places and situation. Okay, we will look at an example later. Okay, tips here. Student to impart information, manage discourse, etc. through independent long terms. A booklet with written prompt is given to the candidates. Time is allocated for students to do preparation, 20 seconds. Candidate name will be used throughout the session. Be very alert. The listening candidate will have to respond on the partner task topic, 20 seconds. Approximately 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, in this session, both students will be given a written prompt about a topic. Okay, and then they will have to give reason, to evaluate, to talk about the topic. And then the other candidate who listen to the first student will also have to respond to the topic that is given to the first student. Okay, let's see the example. Okay, here, for example, here the student booklet, a family celebration. Describe a family celebration you had recently. You should say what the event was, what you did there, did you enjoy yourself, why or why not, why are family celebrations important in Malaysia. As we looked before, the student will get this booklet, and in the booklet the question will be given about a family celebration. The student will be given time to read the booklet and then prepare in mental what they are going to say about family celebration. And then after the time is finished, they will have to elaborate on a family celebration based on the notes given. What the event was, what you did there, did you enjoy yourself, why are family celebration important in Malaysia. Okay. Okay, we look at the example. Family celebration. The first student will get family celebration. The second student will get a person you admire. A booklet is provided for the candidate. Okay, the candidate will also get a booklet. The interlocutor will get the interlocutor booklet, the question that should be asked, but the candidate will get their own booklet. The question for part 2. Candidate A, I like you to talk about family celebration you had recently. First, you have some time to think about what you are going to say. Okay, the interlocutor will ask the student to open the booklet and look at the topic that is given. For candidate A, he will look at family celebration. For candidate B, he will look at the topic, a person you admire. Okay, and then the interlocutor will give 20 seconds, approximately 20 seconds, for the student to read the task and then prepare what to say. And after that, the interlocutor will only say, alright, you may start now. This time, the interlocutor may not ask question. You have to, the student have to elaborate the topic by himself. Only when it is too quiet, you can use backup prompt. Use backup prompt if necessary. Okay, for example, what can you say about this point? Tell me about, for example, tell me about this point. Okay. Only when necessary, the interlocutor will use backup prompt. Not like the first part. The first part, question and answers. Question and answers. But the second part, the student will elaborate the topic without the interaction with the interlocutor. You interact with the students only if necessary. If the student is too quiet, you can give backup prompts. Okay, candidate B. What's the last celebration you had? Did you have a good time? Why? So candidate B will have to answer the task from candidate A also, because he was listening to the candidate A, and then the interlocutor will ask the question to candidate B using the candidate A topic. Okay, so after candidate A finish, the candidate B will be asked a question about the topic that is given to candidate A, which is family celebration. Okay, let's look at the candidate B booklet, student booklet. The candidate B will get a person you admire. Talk about the person you admire. You should say who the person is, what is the person looks like, why do you admire this person, do you think it is important for people to have good role models, why and why not. And then the interlocutor will give 20 seconds for the student to think and try to make the answers. Okay, and then he will, like the first candidate, he will say, alright, you may start now. Okay, let's look at this one. Okay, a person you admire. Now, here's your task. I'd like you to talk about a person you admire. First, you have some time to think about what you are going to say. And then the interlocutor give 20 seconds for the students to think about his answer. And then the interlocutor will prompt the student to start the discussion. Alright, you may start now. Okay. To the student will have to elaborate about a person he admire based on the task given, based on the question given, based on the question that he have read just now. The same goes to candidate 2. You only use backup prompt if necessary. Okay, for example, what can you say about this point? Tell me about example. Tell me about this point. Okay, and then the interlocutor will ask candidate A a question from the candidate 2 booklet, which the topic is a person you admire. For example, give the candidate A name. Who do you admire and why? Duration is approximately 20 seconds. Okay, it is the same process for candidate A and candidate B for part 2. And then we go to part 3. Part 3 is discussion task. Further discussion task, 4 to 5 minutes. Interaction pattern, candidate discuss a task based on a mind map. Then they have a decision question to discuss. Input, candidates are given a topic with a central focus question and surrounding ideas to help them. Discourse feature, turn taking and responding appropriately. Negotiate, initiate and develop topic. Okay, function, explain and give reasons, exchange information and opinions, express and justify opinions, negotiate agreement, make and respond to suggestion, discuss alternative. Okay, we look at the tips. A booklet on a topic with surrounding ideas is given to the candidate. Okay, in the same booklet or another booklet will be given where there is a surrounding idea using mind map. There will be a question in the middle, and then there will be mind maps on how to approach that question. Time is allocated for students to do preparation, 20 seconds. The student will prepare by looking at the mind map. Candidates are advised to be very supportive of each other. So candidate will discuss with candidate A will discuss with candidate B. So they have to be very supportive of each other. Be very alert, as this is an interactive discussion. Avoid being manipulative. Okay, do not try to manipulate the situation. You have to give equal opportunity to both candidate A and candidate B. Make sure both of them have their own appropriate time to speak their opinion. Do not let only a candidate using all the time for himself. Give time for both of the student. Approximately 4 to 5 minutes. Okay. For example, both students will get the same question this time. The question is, why do people shop online? So the mind map will be given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 alternative, 6 reasons why do people shop online. So candidate A and candidate B will have to discuss why people shop online. For example, candidate A would say I shop online because there is no crowd to be with. Okay, so he will give reason why. And then candidate B will say he will get better prices, and then he will give the reason why. Okay, let's see at the task. Okay, 2 tasks. Discuss with each other. Decision questions to discuss. Final joint question. Topic example, online shopping. Okay, a booklet is provided for the candidate, like the booklet we saw before. This one, why do people shop online? There will be a lot of answers, a lot of reasons why. Okay. To both candidate A and B now talk to each other about the reasons why people shop online. Okay, the candidates can pick the reason they like the most. For example, candidate A likes reason A, so he give reason for no crowd. Candidate B likes the reason better prices, so he can give reason for better prices. And then they have to discuss. Backup prompt if necessary. Why do you think candidate name what's about this, pointing to option. So they will have to discuss all of the options, all of the reasons. If they cannot give if they left a reason behind, the interlocutor can give prompt question. What about this? Okay, for example, they left wide variety. Okay, the interlocutor can prompt up, what about this wide variety? What do you think? To both of the question. While giving, for example, while giving their own reason, why do people shop online? For example, candidate A say these are better prices, they can compare in many shop. And then candidate B can give his own opinion about the same topic. It doesn't need that one candidate only give one reason. Both will have to discuss why it is better prices. Someone might not agree with candidate A, might not agree with candidate B, so they will have to discuss. Okay, now you have about a minute to decide together which is the most popular reason people shop online. They will have to give a conclusion of their discussion. What is the best option between these 6 options? These 6 answer, which is the best answer? They will have to pick one as a group. So they will discuss about a topic, about an option. So they will come together with an answer. They will pick one answer from all the 6 answers. Okay, candidate A and B, you have been talking about why people shop online. Now let's hear your opinion on this. In what ways does advertising on social media influence people buying behavior? Okay, there will be an outside question, but it is still related to the topic. For online shopping, for example, it will ask about advertising. Advertising they haven't discussed before because there is no option about advertising. So they will ask, the interlocutor will ask a question in relation to the topic, but something that is not being touched on the mind map. Okay, the answer is approximately 2 minutes. They will have to discuss which is other. It is not a personal personal question. Both will answer at the same time. You don't ask A and then you ask B. You ask both of the candidate, and you will the time given is approximately 2 minutes. Okay, I think that's all for my parts, and then now I can turn back to Mr. AZLIN for the next session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. SYAKIRIN. Okay, interesting as, okay, we can see, as what I can see, I can get, okay, it was mentioned that all the 4 papers, there are 4 papers for this year compared to last year. Last year we only have 3, right? Now we have 4 with the inclusion of this like listenings, okay. And but if you look carefully, all the marks awarded, the weightage of marks, they have equal, meaning 25% of the overall marks for the paper for each and every papers, for each and every component. You can tell your students, they can sit for the papers. It is interesting to see that times allocated for paper 3 is only 13 minutes compared to 1 hour and 30 minutes for paper 1, 1 hour and 30 minutes for paper 2, and 40 minutes for paper 3. Yes. Okay, the least is allocated for speaking. So for students who refuse to sit for the papers, remind them, say to them, point to them that it is only 13 minutes and the mark will be the same, that is 25% for the overall SPM results, SPM marks that they would get. Okay, just imagine if they can score 25% marks for speaking, okay, meaning 25 marks is in their hands. Yes, and if they score again for the listening, there is only 40 minutes, okay, compared to 1 hour and 30 minutes for reading and use of English and also the writing, okay, meaning they have 25 marks, okay, or percent of marks, weightage of mark. So if combination of speaking, paper 3 and paper 4, meaning in the hands they have 50 marks or 50% of the overall marks. Okay, this is good, this is good. Okay, so point to them that speaking and also listening are very important for them to score the mark. Do not leave any parts, any papers behind. Okay, now going back to my my slides, okay, or my presentations, okay, I'm going to talk about the examiners and also the room layout. That is the personnel involved in the examination. Okay, as we can see that it might be, okay, we might be in February 2022, there is speaking is going to be conducted in school. I believe in school because obviously, okay, school is going to be the exam center for our candidates. Okay, and as what it was before back in 2019 for the PT3 candidates. Okay, and we believe that the room, okay, based on what we have for the PT3 2019 candidates, we believe that this is the layout of the room. Yes, yeah, okay, okay, yeah. Okay, we have number one, we have the assessor. Okay, assessor, that is an English teacher from other school. Okay, and obviously we believe an English teacher from other school or other center. Okay, and obviously an English teacher. Okay, and we believe is going to be appointed by the JPN, by jabatan, okay, or sector penilaian and pemeriksaan. And then we have the interlocutor, that is the subject teacher for the candidates. Okay, and this interlocutor is going to be appointed by the school administrators. Yeah, and obviously he or she is going to be the subject teacher for the candidates. Okay, so remind your students that do not be afraid of the interlocutor because he or she is your subject teacher that you know well or you know best. Okay, right. And then again, the interlocutor is going to be the person, okay, or the person who will do the interaction or asking the set of questions, okay, throughout the assessment. So who's going to do the interaction is going to be the interlocutor, not the assessor. Okay, assessor on the other hand is a nearby teacher, as I said just now, okay, or a nearby center, okay, from nearby center. Okay, and this assessor will sit to one side close enough, okay, to see, okay, and hear the interaction. Okay, and remember, okay, remind the students that the assessor is going to listen and award marks only, and he or she will not interfere in any means, okay, to the interaction, okay, or to the conversation between the interlocutor and also the students, okay, or the candidates. And then to cut it short, okay, this is what we have. Okay, I said just now, candidates, okay, they will sit side by side. There'll be pairs, okay, two students, okay, side by side. Okay, and then the interlocutor, the subject teacher from the school, okay, for the candidates will sit in front of the two candidates, and then the assessor, an English teacher from other school or from other center, okay, obviously appointed by jabatan, okay, pendidikan, okay, sit to one side near enough to see and hear everything clearly. Okay, and then the assessor, okay, will only listen to the candidates with no interference. Okay, and obviously you have that furniture arrangement that is supposed to be informal but professionals, and also adequate lighting for the assessors, for the interlocutors, and also for the candidates. Okay, right. Okay, then moving on. Okay, okay, right. This is we look at, okay, the marks, okay, that would be awarded, that we believe, okay, is going to be used to award candidate for SPM Speaking 2021 by each examiner. Okay, as we mentioned earlier on, okay, there will be two examiners in the examination center. Okay, there is the assessor and the allocator. Okay, as what happens in PT3 candidates back in 2019 based on their experience. Okay, and then we can see that here first that the interlocutor is going to award the overall spoken performance for the candidates, okay, right, which carries 1 to 6 marks, 1 to 6 mark, okay, overall spoken performance, OSP, and it's going to be 1 to 6, where 1 is being the lowest and 6 is going to be the highest, okay. And for the assessor, someone outside, okay, an English teacher from another school or from another center appointed by the Jabatan, okay, Pendidikan, okay, he's going to be, or she is going to be very analytical in trying to award the mark, because this personnel is going to look at the grammar, okay, again 1 marks to 6 marks, 1 being the lowest, 6 being the highest, and then the vocabulary, okay, once again to be the lowest, 6 to be the highest, and also the communicative competence of the candidates, both candidates, 1 to 6 marks, okay. And if here, okay, for the speaking, okay, total mark is 24, which is 18, okay, from the assessor, and 6 from the interlocutor, okay. And bear in mind that bigger weightage of mark is awarded by the assessor, okay, not the interlocutor, okay. Bigger weightage of mark is awarded by the assessor, that is the 18 marks. And we believe, as what happens before in PT3 2019, okay, questions are given on the spot with no prior knowledge of the interlocutor, okay, and marks are awarded there and then, okay, right. So each speaking examiners, they have their own task to do, okay, right. And then to recap what I've said just now, okay, right. An interlocutor is the candidate subject teacher appointed by the school administrator, okay, and they are the subject teacher for the candidates, okay. And we have another one, an assessor, who is an English teacher from a nearby school or from a nearby center, appointed by the sector penilaian dan pemeriksaan, your own jabatan, okay, our jabatan, okay, right. That's what we believe, okay. And both examiners, okay, the interlocutor and also the assessor, they are going to assess the candidates independently, okay. And the assessments, as I said just now, made from a different perspective using different criteria, okay. For example, okay, I mentioned just now, interlocutor or the subject teacher will look at the overall performance of the students, which carries 6 marks, okay, and the assessor is going to be very analytical, okay, in awarding marks to doing assessment to their candidates, and he or she possesses 18 marks, okay, 6 marks for grammar, 6 marks for the maximum 6 for grammar, maximum 6 for vocabulary, and maximum 6 for communicative competence. It goes to 18 marks, okay. And then both set of marks are used to calculate the final marks for each candidate, okay, for respective candidates, okay, right. Yeah. And I'm going to move on to the next one, okay. That is the, okay, right, okay, this is what we believe, okay, based on the PT3 candidates back in 2019. I think, okay, this is the suggested band, expected bands, okay, that, and also criteria that is going to be used, okay, to assess the candidates, okay. We look at the overall speaking performance of the student first, okay. Marks awarded by the interlocutor, okay, right. Because so far there is no speaking assessments being carried out yet, but as guidelines for us, okay, we hope that these brief descriptors, okay, would help in guiding and managing the SPM speaking for our students in their school. Okay, there is no yet, okay, formal examination being carried out. Okay, but this is what we think, okay, would be the what the interlocutor and also the assessors looking for the candidates in awarding marks. Okay, first let's look at the ones, the overall speaking performance. Okay, you can see that the band 6 would be the highest, okay, where student can understand, okay, questions and can understand instruction. They can ask and they can respond to more complex topics. Okay, they can maintain and they can develop interaction with good stretches of language with very little prompts and support. Okay, the key point here is they can go for complex topics, they can produce good stretches of language, and they need only very little prompts and support. Okay, that is for the highest band, okay, awarded by the OSP or by the interlocutor. That's what we believe. Okay, next, okay, for band 4, band 5, okay, for band 5, okay, our students, this is for our students who can understand questions, and instructions, can ask and respond, but to familiar topics. Okay, compared to the first one, more abstract, more complex topics, but this one to a familiar topic with still some longer language structure. Okay, longer language structures. Okay, the interaction is maintained and also develops, but with some hesitation and still very little prompt and support needed. Okay, the keywords here is familiar topics. Okay, and then they can go for some longer language structure. Okay, compared to the first one, good stretches of language structure. Okay, this one is longer. Okay, and then interactions maintained but hesitation. Okay, and still little prompts and support are needed. Okay, that is for the band 5. Okay, awarded by the teacher. That's what we believe. Okay, then for the band 4, it is actually the intermediate of band 4 and band 3. Yeah, intermediates, okay, of band 4. Okay, or a mixture of band 4 and band 5 and band 3. Okay, band 5 and band 3. Okay, now we look at band 3. Yeah? Okay, right, band 3 categories, okay, students falls into this category where students can understand question and they can understand instructions to familiar topics, the same like band 5, familiar topics, but need repetitions. Okay, they need repetitions. Okay, they can ask, they can respond to familiar topics with simple and direct language. Okay, for the band 6, with good stretches of language. For band 5, longer structure of language. But for band 3, they produce, okay, simple and direct language. Okay, that interaction is maintained and develops, but they need prompts and support. Okay, compared to the band 5, okay, they need very little prompts, but this one they need prompts and support. Okay, for band 2, it is actually an intermediate of band 3 and band 1. Can we look at band 1? Okay, this is band 1. Okay, for band 1, okay, criteria of the students, okay, requirement for the students to understand, okay, question and instructions, but needs repetition. They needs repetitions. Okay, right, for the first one, for band 3, they can give they would understand question and instructions to familiar topic, but this one they understand question and instruction but need repetition. Okay, and they only produce, okay, basic information of familiar topic which short phrases. Okay, and I think badly need prompts and support to continue with the conversation with the interaction. So the keywords here is, okay, question and, for band 1 student, question and instructions, but need repetition. Okay, they have, okay, they produce only short phrases, short, okay, phrases. Compared to band 3, they need simple and direct language. Compared to band 5, they can produce some longer language structure. And compared to band 6, they have good stretches of language. So for band 1, they have short phrases. Okay, they have short phrases. Okay, and badly need problems and support to continue. And for 0, okay, there is no English. Okay, not English at all. Okay, and that's why they are awarded 0 marks. Okay, for the overall speaking performance. Okay, right. Then moving on to the next one. Okay, right. We have done with the marks awarded by the interlocutor, the subject teacher. Okay, who is looking for the overall performance of the students. Now we look at the marks, okay, that we think, okay, based on the PTT 2019 students. Okay, right. Okay, speaking, okay, for the assessor. Okay, for the assessor, they are going to assess an analytical items. There are components, grammar, vocabulary, and communicative competence. Okay, against the same mark for each component, grammar, vocabulary, and communicative competence. 6, 1 being the lowest and 6 being the highest. 1's the lowest and 6 being the highest. Okay, right. Okay, why this is actually to help to guide us, our students in class. Okay, when we are running a test for them. Okay, right. Okay, for band 6, okay, band 6 for grammar. Now look at the grammar first. Okay, grammar for band 6, okay, they are students who produce very high levels and organized grammar with rare errors. Okay, so students who produce very high levels of grammar and also organized grammar with rare errors. Okay, and they use wide and appropriate vocabulary, okay, for abstracts, complex, and unfamiliar topics. And they can, okay, they use, okay, wide and appropriate vocabulary, okay, for abstract, complex, and unfamiliar topics, and they can converse spontaneously. Okay, always at ease, skillful, and also effective. Okay, so the keywords here, I believe, or we believe, high levels of an organized grammar, wide and appropriate vocabulary, okay, and converse spontaneously, always at ease, skillful, and also effective. Okay, now look at band 5. Band 5. Okay, this is band 5. Okay, this is what we believe. Okay, it's going to be awarded to the students by the assessors for band 5. Okay, right. You can use this guide, okay, to teach your student, okay, when they are doing their speaking in class. Okay, for band 5, okay, compared to band 6, band 5 students produce good grammar. Okay, for band 6, they have high levels and organized grammar. But for band 5 students, they produce good grammar that is using some simple and some complex grammar with language devices. Okay, they have the linking words, they have the phrases, they have the conjunction, they have the coherence. Okay, and they use wide and good vocabulary, for familiar topics, and they can converse at ease with little hesitation. Okay, little hesitation compared to the band 6, spontaneous, always at ease, but this one they have little hesitation but are able to relate and negotiate about a topic. Okay, that is for band 5. Okay, right. And now going to band 4. Again, band 4 is the intermediate or a mixture of band 5 and band 3. Okay, band 5 and band 3. Now we look at band 3. Okay, for band 3, okay, we believe, okay, band 3 students can produce reasonable grammar that is using simple and some attempts for complex grammar with only basic language devices. Okay, those band 3 students are students who can produce reasonable grammar using simple and some attempts for complex grammar with only basic language devices. Okay, and they use wide everyday vocabulary with errors for familiar topic. Okay, they use wide everyday vocabulary with errors for familiar topics. Compared to band 5, they use band 5 students, they use wide and good vocabulary, but for band 3, they use wide everyday vocabulary with errors, okay, for familiar topics. Okay, and they can converse with some hesitations, okay, some hesitations and difficulty, but able to ask for some details when necessary. Okay, they converse with some hesitation and difficulty, like compared to band 5. Okay, they can converse at ease with little hesitation, but for band 3, they can converse with some hesitation and difficulty. Okay, that is for the band 3 students. Okay, and for the band 2, it's actually the combination of band 3 and band 1. Okay, or the intermediate, okay, mixture of band 3 and band 1. That's what we believe. Okay, so and last, okay, for the second last, we have the band 1 student. Okay, band 1 students, in terms of their grammar, in terms of their vocabulary, and in terms of their cognitive competence. Okay, right, for we believe, okay, based on that one's PT3 2019, okay, that band 1 students are students who can produce sufficient grammar, okay, sufficient grammar that is using simple grammar and simple sentences. Okay, students who can produce sufficient grammar that is using simple grammar and simple sentences. Okay, and they use sufficient everyday vocabulary for familiar topic, but sometimes inappropriate and need repetition. Okay, they use sufficient everyday vocabulary for familiar topics, but sometimes inappropriate and needed repetition. In terms of conversation, they converse with difficulty and together with some pauses, some false starts, however able to ask for clarification when necessary. So the keywords here are sufficient grammar, okay, for band 1, and they use sufficient everyday vocabulary. Okay, they converse with difficulty with some pauses and false starts. Okay, and for band 0 or nil, okay, we think it is not an English. Okay, right. Okay, you can use this, okay, these tables, okay, or this suggested band, okay, to help your students, okay, to teach your students about speaking, okay, speaking in class. Okay, we hope that this a bit, okay, of this how we think the marks would be awarded can help you in class, okay, to go about, okay, with speaking with your students. Okay, right. And with that, Thomas, okay, we'll go for the next slide. Okay, the next one. Okay, yeah, second and the next one. Okay, right. Okay, this is points to ponder. Okay, I think this is what I'll read the question. You answer. Okay, right. Okay, this is what we think, Thomas, in the minds of many teachers. Okay, even to us as well. Okay, and we did some research. Okay, and I think this is what we come up with. Okay, the first one is writing aloud in the examinations room. Mr. Shakirin, is it?
Okay. As what being practiced for PT3 2019, I will read the answer first. Speaking assessment, we strongly believe that it will be the same for SPM 2021 paper. Writing is not allowed in the examination room, but we will see about it in February next year. As for my personal opinion, we have to remember what we are being tested here. It is not writing, but it is speaking. If we recap back on the writing process, Okay, first you think about what you want to write, and then you transfer it to the paper, and then you can delete it when you make mistakes. But the speaking process, thinking and speaking is done simultaneously at the same time. So it is the different process. Sometimes people who are very good in writing, they cannot speak well. They are good students who are excel in writing long assignment, but sometimes they cannot speak. Sometimes there may be a lot of reasons. Maybe they are very shy. Maybe they think too much about grammar. They can be someone who is not confident. There can be a lot of reasons why people is not good in speaking. So if we remember correctly, this is a speaking test. We are not testing on writing. Okay, so I advise you teachers do not take the speaking test easily. It can be very difficult even for a very good student. So at least try a session with your student. Okay, go to the second question.
Okay, the second questions we thought might be lingering in the minds of many English teachers is this: are candidates allowed to bring pen and paper in the examinations room? And this is what we believe the answer should be.
The answers to that is that, as mentioned earlier, writing was not allowed for PT3 2019. We guess it will be the same. No pen and paper in the examination room. This is strengthened with the fact that if you write, obviously you will waste time answering the question. Yes, it is the same as the first question. We are testing on speaking, not on writing. And if you write, you will almost definitely will waste a lot of time because the time is very short. Remember, it is only 13 minutes. If you take time to write, you will lose a lot of time. So advise, if they allow your student to bring pen and paper in the examination room, advise your student not to, because they will waste a lot of time.
Okay. And the last questions. Okay, this is mostly asked, okay, or requested by students, okay, to us as teachers, okay. And the question is, will the paired candidates, since that the assessment is carried out in pairs, okay, so they ask us, okay, teachers, okay, will the paired candidates get the same weightage of final marks since assessment is carried out in pairs? Mr. Syakini, is it?
Okay, Mr. AZLIN, this one we believe no. Even though the assessment is carried out in pairs, students will be awarded according to their performance, as what was being practiced in PT3 speaking assessment in 2019. Okay, you must remember that the students cannot choose their own pairs. Sometimes they are paired with a very high proficient speaker. Sometimes they are paired with someone who cannot speak fluently. So they are assessed based on their own answers, their own part of discussion, not paired with the candidates. The weightage will be on their own, not as a group, as a paired candidates.
Okay. That's it, yeah? Yes. Okay, I think basically we have come to the end of our session, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Shall I close?
Yes, you should close it.
Right. Teachers, okay, and head panels and all teachers who are present here today, okay. I think we have come to the ends of our presentations about the SPM's paper 3 2021. That is the speaking encoded 1119/3, okay. And we hope that both of us hope that, okay, our sharing this morning,
yes,
okay, has somehow enlightened many of you, okay, and us, okay, about the paper and what to expect and aims for in your SPM English class, especially when teaching the speaking, okay, paper 3. And we would like to take this opportunity to express our deepest gratitude to Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Police, especially to Mrs. Wan Nolita as the English Language Officer for Police, okay, Mr. Muhammad Shafiq, okay, as the Director for Police SPM English Capsule Program 2021, Sector Sumber Teknologi Pendidikan Negeri Police, and everyone who are present here today. And please accept our sincere apology should there be any weaknesses in our part during our presentation just now. And till we meet again, Sam, and we leave you with the beautiful saying, Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Salam. Thank you. Good luck.
Yeah.
Thank you.